So today I want to talk to you about the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm of cash flow management when it doesn't quite go to plan. So if you're a entrepreneur or you're in financial difficulty personally, or you're a business undergoing financial difficulty, keep watching, keep listening, as hopefully this will help in some capacity. Welcome back to consecutive day 1622 of a diary of a Runpreneur. If you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon, run vlogging on consecutive days, a distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 1622 of a diary of a Runpreneur, and today's topic is all about the stresses, the anxiety, the overwhelm of cash flow management, whether it's personal cash flow, business cash flow. If it's not going the way you want it to, it's incredibly stressful, and it's one of the biggest reasons for stress, certainly in the UK, probably globally, is to do with financial performance and managing cash flow positions in a losing position ultimately. So why am I talking about this today? Well, you may think that when I've been talking about business in the past and how things are going, that all things are kind of going to plan, it's amazing, you know, things are going really successfully, all these types of things. And the ultimate answer to that is yes, they are. So why am I talking about cash flow troubles? Well, the reason I'm talking about cash flow troubles is the last couple of weeks, and we're still ongoing, I've been up there with some of the most stressful periods of my entrepreneurial career. So our banking facility, which is Revolut, we've clearly outgrown. It's one of these kind of hybrid style banks that allow you to open accounts within minutes. Great for micro business owners, great for small personal accounts. But if you're running a sizable commercial entity through it, which our social housing quick business has become, then it is certainly not suitable. And we had a restriction in the past which lasted for 5 days back in 2023, and that was hugely disruptive, and we said we would never find ourselves in this position again. So I moved money into a separate account, still under Revolut, and I created some additional business accounts for the group and moved some funds, small amounts, into those as well to give us some contingency if this happened. And that was fine, and we were well positioned to kind of manage a disruptive period for a 7-day period. But we're now into 14 days, and discussions with the bank have so far suggested it could take another week before we get an outcome to these restrictions. And so it's put huge cash flow pressure on a business which is incredibly cash rich. It's been we've built up, you know, a war chest in the business to protect our investors, protect our stakeholders, all these things we've worked so hard to do. And then for whatever reason, the bank has put a total restriction on us. So clearly there's some investigation going on behind the scenes, because I suppose it's to do with the volume of funds, the volume of money, the amount of transfers. It probably raises alarm bells for kind of money laundering and all these types of things. But I can categorically say we're completely compliant. Everything is by the book. We've taken legal advice with evidence that we're not, we don't have to operate under the Financial Conduct Authority. We have contracts for every transaction, invoices and the like. But even though we've provided all of this information, the banks are still wanting to do their checks. Now, the big difference here, as I see it, I'm just going past someone, so just bear with me just 1 second. There's a dog, hopefully I don't get bitten. Cheers, thank you. So yeah, just checking there's no dog chasing me. But anyway, I think the biggest difference is with these smaller banks with less infrastructure, these checks can take days, weeks, hopefully not months. Whereas if you are operating within a commercial banking entity who understands what we do and does all the compliance checks in advance, then technically we wouldn't undergo these checks. And secondly, if they do happen, we have somebody who we can go and sit down with, show the evidence to, and within a few hours providing we've satisfied the concern, we should be back operating again. So that's completely on us as a business to not have moved to that. But in our defence, the business has gone from kind of micro business level to borderline medium-sized business within the space of 12 months. So it's been exponential growth, and with growth we've been adapting, changing our processes and systems, and all of these data interfaces, all these types of stuff that we have to build to support the growth. And the banking facility is so disruptive, it's kind of been put to the back of the list, and now it's come to the forefront. So I'm actively sorting it out at the moment, but it's so stressful because we're now basically hand to mouth. Money coming in is going straight out, and we have no operating capital to fall back on. We're in the process with a new facility to try and secure some kind of rolling overdraft facility to see us through this period, but that might not be as quick as we would like to set up. And it's really difficult juggling this, incredibly stressful. It makes you incredibly anxious because you're waiting for the next person to say, oh, why is my payment late, or whatever. And you're trying not to communicate anything to ruin your integrity or the trust that you've built up with your consumer base, your supplier base, your stakeholders involved. You want to communicate, keep transparent communication, but you don't want to make, have alarm bells happening. It just so happens that as this has happened, it's probably linked to this. There's been another provider in the industry that has been operating fraudulently. And because there's so much kind of negativity around this particular business, I'm not going to name for obvious reasons, I think that's probably had a knock-on effect to why they're looking so thoroughly at what we're doing. Now, we're very, very comfortable with how we're doing things from a compliance perspective, but it doesn't mean we can speed this process up. And it's horrible. It makes you feel like you're a criminal. Your banks have been frozen. It's just devastating to think that a bank can borderline put you out of business. If we're not out of it yet by any stretch. It could go on for weeks and weeks, and we're now having to hustle harder than ever before just to maintain our position. Yet, had we had access to our full banking facilities, we would be expanding and growing with all the new exciting opportunities that we're pursuing at the moment. So what have I learned from this situation? So the learnings from my diary today is that when managing cash flow, whether it's personal or business, if it's not going in the right direction, it's incredibly frustrating, it's incredibly stressful, it makes you incredibly anxious and overwhelmed, and it's really tough on your mental health when you see the stresses and the pressures of what's coming around the corner from a cash flow perspective. Have you got the funds to service that? And when are they next coming in? Are they going to be transferred in time? Are they going to go out in time? Do we need to communicate to stakeholders, suppliers, creditors, consumers, etc.? It's incredibly stressful, and it seems incredibly reactive, but it seems that you're trapped and there's very little you can do. So what gets you through these situations? Well, first and foremost, the situation I explained with our scenario. We're an incredibly liquid company. We have big cash reserves, but we've had the kind of rug pulled under us. It feels like I'm running a 100-metre sprint and I've had my legs taken from me. That's how it kind of feels. But what have I learned? Well, first and foremost, there are certain situations in life that are outside your control. So I have to accept I'm in this position. I have to do what it takes to kind of come through it. So not stressing about feeling sorry for myself. We're in this position. What am I going to do proactively to come through it? That's point number one. Secondly, I remind myself about the traits that make the successful entrepreneurs successful and the not so successful ones not successful. And that's persistence and belief. So I strongly believe in what we're doing. I know that we've taken advice and legal advice and doing everything by the book. I believe in what we're doing. So I have to trust that the system will understand that in time. And secondly, I have to have the persistence to continue hustling until we come through this position. So I will hustle like I've never hustled before to continue coming through this situation. And secondly, learning from my mistakes. I have been in this situation before. I put what I thought was robust contingencies in place. They were contingent and they were pretty good for a week. That's the reality. So I didn't really have a robust enough contingency plan. And it's a failure, it's a mistake. But you know what? Every failure or every mistake that's presented is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to improve, an opportunity to not make that same mistake again. And the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones that solve mistakes, problems, challenges the quickest and most efficiently. So that's exactly what I need to be doing. I'm just going past someone, so just bear with me a second. Thank you, cheers. Hopefully I don't get savaged by another dog. So yeah, so it's one of those. I have to remain positive, remain upbeat, remain focused on the challenge ahead. It could be a day, it could be solved over the weekend, it could be another week, it could be another 2 weeks, it could be another month. Who knows? But I have to have contingency plans in place for all potential outcome, and that's what I'll be working on over the weekend into next week as we take on another week. I've managed to get to the end of the week, or nearly. Still a few things to sort out and tidy up this evening, but hopefully we'll be in a better place moving forwards. So anyway, hope that's useful. Hope that helps people that are going through these similar experiences, because it's horrendous. There's no way of sprucing it up, but you have a choice. You can either be reactive to the situation and feel quite down and negative about the situation, or you can look at it proactively, positively, and think, right, I am where I am, I can't change this, what can I do about it? And focus all your attention on what you're going to do about it, because there's always a solution. It might not be the best one or the perfect outcome, but there's always a solution to a given problem. You just have to try and pick and choose the best one for the scenario that you're facing. So anyway, that's it for me. Questions or comments, drop me a line. I will respond to everyone. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.